hole still sounds. So let's play 1, 2, 3, 4 on the chromatic, tongue off the harmonica to start. Now, slowly lay your tongue on the harmonica. Now, ho, ho, ho. Now, you notice a couple things. For each slap, it starts with no breath. Then we bring our breath up, a little pump from the diaphragm, and then we hit full volume once we hit the downbeat. So essentially that slap is or the chord of the slap going into the single note is a pickup. Chord to single note, chord to single note. And even when I played those slaps close together, ho, 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 there was a diaphragm pump for each one of those. So I just want to make sure you understand the definition of a slap. Slap is a chord to a single note. Definition of a pull is we start with nothing, blocking all the holes with our tongue. So basically you're just going to stick more tongue out. We use the top of the tongue anyways because it's wider and it's more easily able to cover more holes on the harmonica, and becomes very important on the chromatic harmonica that you put more harmonica in your mouth and use more of the top of the tongue because it's just wider. It's going to cover more holes more evenly, and that's the key element. When we go into the pull, we stick out a little bit more tongue. So by sticking out some more tongue, again, we're using a little bit more of the top of the tongue. And that's pretty much what we're doing, is we're just sticking the tongue out. Now, go ahead and play your 4 draw. Now go ahead and stick more tongue out so you block all 4 holes evenly. Let's do that together. You'll play 4 draws, 4 draw, slap, cover all the holes, and then the sound should stop. So block those holes. Now that the holes are blocked, we're ready to do the actual technique of the pull. So let's go ahead and start now with our tongue covering all the holes. And if you breathe in, you shouldn't hear anything sound because all the holes are covered, right? If you're still hearing the rightmost hole sound, go ahead and straighten out your tongue so it's a little bit more forward. Make sure you're using, again, the top of the tongue. Now that they're all blocked, you breathe in just a little bit to create just a tiny bit of pressure, not much. Again, you'll hear nothing until the tongue comes off the harmonica. So covered, you breathe in and release that tongue. You want to make sure it's got that spitty quality to it. It's like a suction cup coming off something. All right, so a pull starts with all the holes blocked. Pull off, and you notice that the chord itself dissipates very quickly. So we're really not supporting our breath when we do our pull. We just want that pull to come shortly and dissipate very quickly. Now, pulls are almost always used around slaps. So let's go ahead and get used to doing slaps and pulls. So example 1.1 goes to the 5 draw. So slap your 5 draw, stick more tongue out to block all the holes, then pull on the upbeat. So we get slap, cover all the holes, pull. Here's our next rule. Pulls live on the upbeat. And actually, a pull is a substitution of a single note. If we take a look at example 1.1 and play only top notes. So instead of playing 5 and then that chord that's notated 5, 4, 2, and then 5, let's just play 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, and let's slap each one of those notes. So we got down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. So each one is slapped, right? Now let's take all those upbeats and replace it with a pull. So we go slap, pull, slap, pull, slap, pull, slap, pull 1, 2, 3, 4. And that's what adds rhythm to our blues harmonica playing, is by putting those chords on the upbeat. So again, definition, make sure it's very clear for you. We start the slap, which is the downbeat. The tongue is off the harmonica. We ho, slap on the harmonica. Now the rightmost hole is sounding. Then to do the pull on the upbeat, we first need to stick our tongue out a little bit. Again, more of the top of the tongue that you use for your normal everyday tongue block. The easier it is just to stick a little more tongue out and all the holes get blocked, getting ready, the preparation for the pull, and then pluck that tongue off so the tongue comes off. So we have this reciprocal motion. Slap, set, pull, slap, pull, slap, pull, slap, pull, slap, pull, slap, pull, slap, pull. So they work together. Let's try that a couple times. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now you're seeing me move my tongue over a little bit. That's just to give you the sense of that pluck. But again, I'm just sticking a little bit more tongue out. And if you need to, you can move the tongue over just a little bit to the right to make sure that fourth hole gets blocked. Experiment with it. But again, my biggest tip I can give you is to use as much of the top of the tongue as possible. And if you just stick a little bit of tongue out, you will find that that'll block all those holes for you. So let's review the rules of the pull. The pull is a substitution of a single note. Specifically on the upbeat. So that was the same melody, and almost all those upbeats were turned into pulls to give us that rhythmic quality. Pulls dissipate quickly. We don't want to hear that the breath still going through the body as that pull, that chord sounds of the pull. So it's just a little puff. Slap, pull, slap, pull, slap. As you get more advanced, what will happen is that your pull, you want your pull to be of lesser volume than your single notes. So your downbeat single notes are of certain volume, and your upbeat pulls you want to be quieter. And they can be as much as 10% of the volume of the single notes and barely audible to as loud, which is much more rare. I want you to shoot for, again, experiment with this for a while. Play it in the song. Even be able to play Cool Blue, our study song, from beginning to end with the pulls. Then go back over it again and try to focus on making your pulls a little bit softer. And that will give you a much more dynamic feel. For example, if I play my pulls as loud as my slaps, it's a little bit one-dimensional. The dynamics aren't as good. Now I'm going to bring the volume of the pull down a little bit. That's a little bit better. Now I'm going to bring my pull down even more. You see how it has just a subtlety of that groove that we're looking for? So be aware of that pulls can be played from anywhere in volume to barely audible to quite loud, but almost never as loud as the single note. So just keep in mind that your pull should be at least a little bit softer than your single notes.